Hey there, true crime friends. You know what time it is? It is time for Lunchtime True Crime. Honey, today we are doing a case that is ripped from the headlines. This case is on trial right now on retrial. So I'm going to take you back to the first three trials and we are going to walk through it step by step. And I'm going to tell you everything that happened because I have been obsessed with this case for years. First, you know what you have to do. First, you got to get a fork and a napkin and put some earbuds in because you know, who knows what I'm going to say. I don't even know what I'm going to say. Also, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into it. We need to talk about Annamarie. I have notes. I have copious notes. If you see me looking over here, it's to check my notes. We need to talk about Miss Annamarie Rintala. She is the decedent. She was murdered? I don't know. Question mark. Her wife, Cara Rintala, is on trial right now on this day. What is it? Today is September 14th, Thursday, in Massachusetts, the state of Massachusetts versus Cara Rintala. The case is in the fourth or fifth day right now. So look, let me give you a little background. Annamarie, nice Catholic girl, very religious family, very conservative family, and they did not know she was gay when she was in high school. And so one night she didn't come home. She missed a curfew, and her parents were like, "Where is this girl? Is she out praying? Let's drive around to all the churches and see if we can find her." And they drove past the Red Roof Inn and they were like, "Oh wait, is that her car? She's in a hotel with a boy. Oh goodness, she's in a hotel with a boy. What are we gonna do?" Okay. We don't want to deal with the fact that she's in a hotel with a boy. So we go call Uncle Pat. Because listen, everybody got an Uncle Pat. Got a big mouth, says too much, not afraid to make a fuss. Also, it's some aunties that do the same thing. I might be one of the big mouth broads in the family. I'm just saying. So Uncle Pat is like, "She's over there at the Red Roof Inn, is she?" Okay, I'm doing a terrible Massachusetts accent. But anyway, and so he's like, boom, boom, boom. Well, he goes to the front desk and he's like, "Listen here." He says, "My niece, who is underage, is in one of these hotel rooms, and I'm going to get the cops down here unless you tell me what room she's in." The Red Roof Inn dude was like, "Oh, I don't need this heat. She is in room 202. Right there. You need the key? She right over there. Just go right over there." So Uncle Pat was like, "Thank you." And so he goes over, boom, boom, boom. "Come out of that room, Annamarie. I'm going to kill that boy that's in there with you." So Annamarie is like, "Oh my gosh." She comes out of the room and she's like, "Hey, Uncle Pat, and she's like, "Let me tell you something. Bring that boy out here." And so a girl slips from out behind the hotel room door, and he was like, "Oh, this is not, I guess you two were just doing your makeup together?" And she's like, So they all went to the house. She paid for that room and didn't even get to use it. Well, maybe she got to use it a little bit, but clearly they ain't finished because Uncle Pat was over there banging on the door. And the family was like, "Oh, you're a lesbian, that's all? Okay, fine, whatever." They were loving, they were supportive, and they were just like, let her do what she's gonna do. Just be safe. She was like, "Okay, great." So she goes on with her life. She continues to be a big mouth broad because clearly she comes from a long line of big mouth folks. Good for her. And then she meets a woman, Cara Rintala, who is 6 years older than her and quite demure and quiet and shy. And she's like, "We're a perfect combination." And like, in my marriage, I know it's shocking to you. I am the big mouth broad. My husband barely says 2 words. And thank God I haven't been interrupted in 22 years. We have the perfect marriage. So anyway, these two are back and forth. And at first it's all love and light and wonderful. They met in 2002. They dated for a couple of years and they were like, "You know what? Let's get married." Gay marriage was legalized in Massachusetts in 2003, 2004. 2004 it was legalized. They got married in 2005 and they were like, "We have the perfect life." They moved into the house that Cara owned and they were like, "Okay, we're living happily ever after. Let's adopt a baby." They adopted a baby when this little baby, Brianna, was only 2 days old. Brianna? I think that was her name. Only 2 days old. They brought the baby home. They're newlyweds. It's a whole happy family. Only having a newborn in the house, it's not that relaxing. It's unlikely to make your relationship better. And so immediately these two women were at each other's throats and fighting. In addition to the fighting and all the big drama and the personalities and whatever, they like to travel a lot and they spent a lot of money on travel. Also, Annamarie had teensy bit of a shopping addiction. And so she just spent and spent and spent and spent. A lot of the fights they had were about the way that Annamarie was spending money. And Cara was like, you're killing us here. You're spending all the money on everything. You got to slow down. And Annamarie was like, sure, I'm going to do that as soon as I get back from the store. I'm going to slow right down. And then Cara finds out, wait, you opened a credit card in my name and you've spent up $10,000. Each of them were big spenders. Make no mistake about it. Just that Annamarie spent more. And she spent money that she didn't have a right to spend. She opened up a credit card in her wife's name and ran up a big bill. Of course, they thought about that. It was nonstop. This couple was in massive, massive debt. And ultimately, they were like, you know what? It's too much. We should really, really break up. Let's go on a couple vacations first, but we're definitely going to break up. So they have a big fight one night. They break up. And Annamarie is like, you know what? I'm going to go hook up with my old girlfriend. So she hooks up with her old girlfriend, Carla. Listen, moved right in right away. And the new girlfriend, Carla, was like, hey, girl, how you doing? You so cute. I just love you. And Annamarie was like, you got a credit card? Because I really enjoy it. Let me just hold it. I'm just going to hold it right here. I'm going to pet it. It's my friend. I'm just going to hang on to it. And she immediately charged up that credit card, too. And Carla was like, whoa, hang on. Maybe we can talk and work this out. And so when that relationship started to go sour because of money, Annamarie was like, Carla seems to have calmed down. And she got better credit than you. So I'm going to go right over. Okay, girl, I'm going to see you later. Bye. So Carla and Annamarie break up. And Annamarie goes back home to her wife, Cara. Child, all these people have rhyming names. It's too much. These two ladies were paramedics. So it's like, okay, everybody's in like the life-saving business, whatever. Okay, great. Over there, down there at the paramedic place, there's a coworker named Mark. Mark is a married dude, but apparently he loved himself a lesbian. And he was like, hey, Annamarie, you want to be my girlfriend? And she was like, no, because I like ladies. And she was like, okay, but if I give you a kiss, can you give me access to your credit cards? And he was like, So he gave her a credit card. Now look, this man had a wife and a grown child, and he's opening up credit accounts for this lady over here at the job that he's not going to get anything from. He's not going to be able to have like a physical relationship, but clearly he was having an emotional. Child, wish my husband would. Just reading about this made me mad. I was like, he did what? He's spending family money on that heifer? I would rather have him have an affair. No, I would not, because I might slit his throat for that too. I mean, I should probably monitor my speech because it turns out people can see what you say when you post it on YouTube. So I would be very upset. And I might give my husband some iced tea sweetened with antifreeze if this was a situation in our house, but it's not. So I'm not going to have to worry about it. If my husband dies unexpectedly, they're going to be like the state of New Jersey versus Kathy of Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. Exhibit 1, her entire YouTube channel where she talks about killing people. But anyway, so this lady apparently, Mark's wife, didn't mind, didn't know, was not homicidal. I don't know what her story was, but she was like, okay, Mark, you're going to need to stop giving all of our money to the nice lesbian lady. And he's like, I'm going to stop. Only he didn't. But Cara, and Annamarie stayed together and kept spending irresponsibly. They separated their bank accounts so there was less pressure, but they're raising a child. They're going through their lives. And at one point they were like, you know what, let's go on a vacation. So they go to Florida and they spend the night at this aunt's house, before they take off on their cruise. Apparently, they had broken up and gotten back together, and they had like a we're going to renew our vows kind of cruise. They go on this cruise. They fight the whole time. In the run up to the cruise, the aunt was like, they stayed at my house. They did everything but rip each other's faces off. And it wasn't just like verbal back and forth with each other. It's insult, it's pushing, it's all kinds of abuse. And at one point, the aunt was like, I'm going to watch the baby. Why don't you two go for a walk on the beach? And Cara, the nice one, was like, why would somebody who looks like this want to go to the beach with someone who looks like that? You know what? Them's fighting words as far as I'm concerned. That's like saying, I would like to get divorced. You gonna talk shade in public about my body? Oh, Immediately, you would lose access to all of this. But that is the standard that I have set for myself. Also, I'm petty and bitchy. So clearly these women were not, or maybe they were used to that, but that wouldn't have been my relationship. But that's just me. Okay, fine. So they come back from their very tense vacation and they continue to fight and break up and get back together and break up and get back together over and over and over. At one point, the fighting between them got so bad, Annamarie went down to the police station and was like, she has beat me up. She punched me in the head. She hit me with a spatula. And then the cops were like, okay, let's take a report. Mid taking a report, Cara shows up at the police station. Is like, wait, she hit me too. And they were like, yeah, Annamarie got here first. So they arrest Cara. They're going to press charges. And of course, things calm down. And Annamarie was like, I changed my mind. We're back in love. Y'all are toxic. I'm saying it right here, right now. Y'all are super, super toxic and really do not need to be together. But they were like, this is what love looks like for us. And so they went on and got back together. Shortly after that, Annamarie is off at work. Now, keep in mind, Annamarie has spent up money on her own credit card, spent up money on her wife's credit card, spent up money on her ex-girlfriend Carla's credit card, and spent up money on Mark, some dude that she works with, credit card. So she's at work one night. She comes home, it's late, she's tired, and her wife is there with a friend, Mike. Why everybody in this story got names that sound alike, but whatever. So Annamarie comes in the house and she's like, you know what I hate? Coming home from work to a house full of people. Child, I can't blame you. But she's like, you got your friends over here. This is ridiculous. This is the last thing I want to see when I come home. I'm tired. Blah, 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 blah. They fight. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, according to Cara was like, you know what? I got to go to work. I know you just got home. I know we've been fighting for 2 hours, but I just got a phone call. I got to go to work. And so Annamarie was like, fine, I will watch the baby until you get back. Cara goes to work and they're like, turns out, girl, we don't need you. She's like, great. She goes back home and her wife have a discussion. It's unknown what happens when Cara comes back in the house. What we do know is that there's some sort of communication. They're there together for a couple of hours. Unclear what's going on. And according to Cara, she was like, come on, baby, we're going to let your mommy sleep because she's going to have to work tonight. I'm going to scoop you up and we're going to go off to the mall and have some fun. And so they go off to the mall and have fun. Cara says she left the house at 3 o'clock. Nobody can find her on video until 5 o'clock. All we know is that she left the house and she went out. She went to McDonald's, she went to Burger King, she went to the mall. Oh, she had a good old time. She was out here in these streets doing all kinds of everything. She was doing the most. And so at the end of the evening, she was like, she goes to McDonald's. She's like, let me get my baby some dinner. Then we're going to go on home because her mommy doesn't have to cook and I don't have to cook. She goes to McDonald's, but she doesn't buy anything at McDonald's. How you going to pass up them fries? Like, really? That is a crime against fries. You can't just go to McDonald's and not buy fries. But okay. They go to McDonald's. She doesn't buy fries. What she does do, she drives her truck on around to the back of the McDonald's where there's a garbage can. Okay, you cleaning out your car. No problem. She changes her baby's diaper. Why is a 3-year-old still in a diaper? Okay, whatever. No judgment. Not that much judgment. I mean, listen, I had sons. I thought they'd go to college in diapers, God knows. But anyway, little girls, I thought that you could train them early. But whatever, what do I know about raising girls? Nothing, because I only raise sons. Anyway, so she throws out a dirty diaper and some other things that were in the car, including rags with blood on them. Okay, unclear where the rags with blood on them came from. They were not able to get a clear DNA sample. Some reports say the rags that got thrown out had Annamarie's blood on them. Other reports say, it was muddled. We really, really didn't know. But what we do know is that Cara is on videotape throwing out a diaper, throwing out rags, throwing out other things from the car. Also, in the bed of her truck is a big laundry bag that's getting rained on and whatever. And it's there when she's at McDonald's. And then she's like, you know what? Forget McDonald's. Let's go to Burger King. Who leaves McDonald's? Okay, look. If you go to McDonald's, you have to get the fries. And then you go to Burger King because they have that Whopper. Honey, that Whopper is fire. Anyway, but Burger King's fries? No, thank you. Anyway, okay, I have opinions. I have very strong opinions about my fast food. Even though I don't eat it anymore, I have opinions about it. So she goes to the Burger King, and on the Burger King cameras, that laundry basket that was in the bed of her truck has disappeared. Okay, what happened to a whole bag of laundry? Unclear. Okay, so they leave without fries, without the good okay, whatever. They leave Burger King, and she goes home. Cara goes home with the baby. They just walk in, and they're like, hey, where's other mommy? Wonder where other mommy is. They looking all around. I'm like, oh, there she is, down at the bottom of the stairs. And so apparently the baby said, is that mommy down there? So sad. So Cara scoops up the baby and runs to the neighbor's house and says, take the baby, call 911. There's been a terrible accident. I think my wife has fallen down the stairs. My wife that I frequently domestically abuse, and we had to go to court about the abuse 100 times back and forth. She has accidentally fallen down the stairs. And so she runs back to the house, and yes, she's a trained paramedic, but does she perform CPR? She does not. And some paint got spilled. Now listen, we don't know when the paint got spilled. This is a special kind of ceiling paint. I actually have this paint at my house where when you paint it on, it's pink. That way you can tell like, oh, did you miss a spot? And then after it dries, it turns white. So there's paint all down the stairs and all over Annamarie's body at the bottom of the stairs. And Cara is so distraught, she wiggles herself underneath her wife and holds her for the 20 minutes that it took the police to show up. Why did it take 20 minutes for the cops? Where do y'all live that it takes 20 minutes for the cops to show up? But maybe that's my privilege talking. I got fast police privilege. Anyway, so the paramedics and the police and everybody show up, and they're like, who are these people covered in paint and blood and mayhem and lots of pink paint? Because the paint was still pink when the cops arrived, which, if you will recall, I said when the paint dries, it turns white. So what is all this fresh paint? They go to take Annamarie, to get Cara from off Annamarie, and they're like, oh, this dead body that we're trying to lift off of her wife is stiff and cold and in rigor mortis. Friends, true crime friends, you know how long it takes for rigor mortis to set in. Other people might not know, but I know you know. 2 to 6 hours for rigor mortis to set in. Now, it is 7 o'clock in the evening. When might this terrible accident have happened? Okay, so fine. They take the body out, they clean up the paint. Everyone's like, oh my goodness. Cara goes down to the police station and she's like, this is terrible. Oh my God. Keep in mind, when they see this woman at the bottom of the stairs, they think, oh, obviously she fell down the stairs and had a terrible accident. And Cara said, and I quote, I understand that I'm probably the number one suspect. Ma'am, why, pray tell, do you think you are the number one suspect? I mean, I understand that you're around police and paramedics and all that all the time. Why do you think you're the number one suspect? Why wouldn't them stairs be the number one suspect? Why wouldn't that slippery paint be the number one suspect? Do you have a dog she could trip over? How come the dog is not the number? Okay, unclear. All we know is that Annamarie is at the bottom of the stairs, all beat up and bruised up. And the bruises are consistent with falling down a flight of stairs. And her face is swollen. She's unrecognizable. And she's covered in pink and white paint. Mostly pink. According to the cops who were there on the scene. Back in the day, they didn't have body cam footage. So we don't know. Okay. So they're just like, okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to clean up the paint. We're going to take Cara down. We're going to ask her a bunch of questions. Now, listen, at this time, everybody was like, this is terrible. This was obviously a bad accident. Oh, that side door was unlocked and open, and it looks like somebody has smashed the doorknob open. Oh, this must be a robbery gone bad. Okay. Fine, no problem. The police do a complete investigation. The district attorney looks around and was like, let me get this straight. Domestic violence and lesbians and gay marriage has just become legal. What you're not going to do is get me caught out here. I'm not about to be the first one to prosecute a lesbian for killing her wife. No, thank you. And so they say, Widow Cara, we are sorry for your loss. We are not touching this with a 1,000-foot pole because of the whatever reason. And so Cara was like, thank you so much. I'm going to go be sad over in Rhode Island. I'm going to take my baby and we're going to move. We're going to move out of this little one-horse town and we're going to go and I'm going to live close to my parents. Okay, great. And so she goes and does that. Only a new district attorney gets elected a couple years later. And the new district attorney was like, I'm not scared of what this looks like. I think we have the evidence. We're going to go to trial. So the new DA was like, oh, okay. We're going to have to get all of our evidence together. We're going to arrest this heifer. We're going to put her over here in the jail with the pajamas and the everything. And she's going to go to trial. So 2013, I believe the murder happened in 2011. 2013, the first trial happens. And so the prosecution focuses on motive, means, and opportunity. Yes, this heifer was spending irresponsibly. She was spending everybody's money, but she was in a domestic violence relationship. All the things that were involved in the crime were already there in the house. Oh, turns out the cause of death was not a fall down the stairs. The cause of death was strangulation. And strangulation in the way that whoever strangled her had to hold her neck for at least 4 minutes. That is some up close and personal murderation. Somebody was real mad at you. Possibly mad at the way you were spending your money. Unclear. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Also, the time of death, based on the rigor mortis and their pain, the time of death, because of the rigor mortis, was determined to be earlier, way earlier, like 11 o'clock in the morning. Roll your minds back. Miss Cara says she left the house at 3. We didn't see her on video till 5. So from the time she came home from work in the morning, 10, 11 o'clock, until somewhere between 3 and 5 o'clock, we don't know where she was. Could she have been killing her wife? Is there evidence that she was there killing her wife? Who knows? What happened to the missing laundry basket? Why did she throw away them rags with blood on them? These are questions that need to be explored. And so, honestly, at the end of the day, this whole thing came to trial, but there was a lot of questions. Because keep in mind, a trial is not about like, did the person do it? Did they not do it? A trial is always and forever about what can the state prove? Justice. Okay, sometimes you get justice, sometimes you don't. The real question is, what can the state prove? So the first trial comes up and the jury stays out for 4 or 5 days. And they were like, we don't know. Yes, there was blunt force trauma, but the cause of death was the strangulation. And that paint was fresh paint. So the prosecution's theory was that there was a fight between the ladies. Cara strangled her wife, threw her down the stairs, and then went out with the baby, made herself an alibi, came back and was like, oh, she is very, very dead. How can I muddle up this situation? Oh, look at this nice pink paint we got. So she threw paint all over the scene to like obscure all the evidence. And if that was her plan, she did a good job because nobody could decide. Some people said the paint was pink. Some people said the paint was white. There's no body cam footage. That paint only takes 30 minutes to dry. So if Cara had been dead long enough for rigor mortis to set in, all the paint should have been white. None of it should have been pink. But what about the puddles of paint? Many questions. So the jury hangs and it has to be retried. It's like, okay, Miss Cara, march yourself right back over there to the prison. 2014, we're going to try you again. So they run it all back again and they do the trial again. 3-4 days of deliberation. And guess what happens? The jury hangs. And so Cara's attorneys are like, look, y'all don't have the proof. You don't have the evidence. Maybe I did it, maybe I didn't, but you can't prove it. In the meantime, it was also discovered that smashed up door lock over there, that door lock had been hit with a shovel that was already there in the house. Okay, so somebody's going to come to your house and break in and use a shovel that's already there to break the door, use the paint that's already there to spill and make a mess and do whatever. Everything is suspicious. And frankly, the state can't prove what happened. They don't know. Cara's not talking. Anna is dead. We're going to need a psychic to tell us what really happened. Where's our psychic friend? What was her name? There's a tarot card reader who is a member of this fine channel. We're going to need her to like whip out some cards and tell us all what happened. Something point of view. I'm going to have Sonia's point of view. Sonia's point of view. Girl, if you're watching this video, we're going to need you to pull out the tarot cards and tell us exactly what happened. Otherwise, we're going to have to call Serafina Donna Serafina. One of those is her real name, our friendly neighborhood psychic. So anyway, but until then, we don't know what happened. And after the second trial, Cara's attorneys were like, y'all don't have the proof. Listen, double jeopardy. You cannot try her again. She needs to go home until y'all get y'all act together or you just drop this whole thing. And the state was like, we're going to have to work something out. We'd like her to stay in jail. And the judge was like, nah. Now her child is 9 years old. You're going to need to let her go home and raise her child. So she goes home for 2 years and raises her child. From the time her child was 9 to 11, she's living off wherever, raising her child, living her life, waiting for the state to decide, are they going to bring this trial again? 2016 rolls around. They go for a third trial. Only this time, the state focused, got rid of all the extra evidence, because before the defense was saying, all these people that she ran up their credit cards, Carla's, whose credit card she ran up, and Mike or Mark, whatever his name is, she ran up his credit card. They probably the ones who unalived her. Mark's wife probably unalived her. Maybe Mark's adult daughter unalived her. Who knows? The state was like, we're not focusing on that. We're focusing only on the paint. When did the paint get spilled? When did the paint dry? Where's that missing bag of laundry? If the woman is in rigor mortis, meaning she's been dead for like 6 hours, how come the paint was still pink? Puddles of it were pink. Some of it was... They brought in a paint expert to like do all the trigonometry related to paint and was like, the paint was wet, which is evidence that this heifer tried to cover up the whole crime scene. So we think she did it. And so the defense was like, you cannot prove. How do you have a job just watching paint dry? That's not a thing. Okay, so the jury gets all the information and they go out and they deliberate for 4 days. 4 days. When this happened, I was like, obviously this is going to hang again and the state is just going to have to let it go. And then the jury comes back and instead of saying like, oh, we have more questions and what time is lunch and can I get a better hotel room? Can I get extra towels in my hotel? They were like, yeah, we got a verdict. The judge was like, what? And so Miss Cara was like, 4 days. A long deliberation, everybody knows that you going home after a long deliberation. So, she was like, I'm planning to get my nails done. I got to get the oil changed in the car. What other plans do I have? Does our daughter have soccer this weekend? And they were like, okay, we, the state of Massachusetts, home of delicious lobster rolls, find you guilty. And everyone's like, whoa, what? She's guilty. She's guilty. Oh, my God. And so the judge was like, thanks so much for playing. Thank you, everybody. You did a fine job. Round of applause. Cara girl, stand up here. Because now that the paint was found wet and we feel like you killed your wife, your sentence is LWOP, life without the possibility of parole. And everybody was like, wow, that was a long and dramatic and drawn out case. But of course, Miss Cara appealed her conviction because of course she did. And it went round and round and round in the appeals. And everybody was like, okay, but she LWOP. Her child's probably graduated from high school at this point. Who the heck even knows? And the appeals court was like, yeah. That paint drying dude, that's not a thing. New trial. So now she's back on trial. Will the state talk about the paint? Will they talk about all these other people's credit cards that Annamarie has charged up? Now listen, we saw opening statements the other day, and both attorneys were on fire. The state was like, she did it, the paint. And the defense was like, you automatically assumed that this was domestic violence. Just because she beat up her wife a couple of times and there was some restraining orders doesn't mean she killed her this time. And I'm like, okay, but look, this is my point of view. I don't know what the state's going to be able to prove because understand, do I think Cara killed her wife? Yeah, but it doesn't matter what I think because I'm not on the jury. The question is, what can the state prove? Not did she do it, not did she not do it. What can the state prove? So over the next week, maybe two, we're about to find out what the state can prove. Now listen, when a verdict finally comes down in this trial, I will add a little addendum to the end of this case, which also means I'm going to have to figure out how to add little addendums, but I will be here and I will be all about that addendum life. I will be tacking things on to the end, or maybe I'll do the SpongeBob thing like 3 hours later, whatever. They're just in arguments right now. We don't know what happens. This is an open case. It's the fourth trial. Will the state be able to prove that Cara is the murderer? Will the very fiery defense attorney with a cute spiky haircut be able to convince everyone that no, this heifer was trash and was charging up everybody's credit card, and so maybe somebody unalived her from that, or maybe she strangled herself, or maybe she stumbled down the stairs and then 4 hours later rose from the dead and poured paint all over herself? Maybe the child did it. Did they have a dog? Maybe there was a monkey with a set of lockpicks who opened up the door and came in and killed her and threw the paint. I don't know. Some of those things that I just mentioned definitely didn't happen, but you don't know which ones. And I don't know which ones either. We're going to have to wait and find out. So this case is our first ever Lunchtime True Crime to be continued. If you're watching Court TV, keep your eyes peeled for the state of Massachusetts versus Cara Rintala. I'll see you soon. Bye.